Welcome back to Financial Independence 101. This is Mike, and I'm here to get you motivated and excited to make money, save money, invest money, become financially independent just like me. And the thing is that we do have this retail apocalypse 2020 going on. Now, it's been going on in my town for a while now. I've been seeing this, and I don't know if you look around in your town and you see all these empty commercial buildings that never seem to get filled up, or if they get filled up, they're empty and vacant again. The businesses aren't making it. And we're going to talk today about retail apocalypse and the whole thing behind it. Coming up. So most people want to blame online. You know, it's funny because we've had online forever. We've had online commerce for 2 decades solid now. And so people still want to blame online. It's online sales, it's online purchasing. You know, that's what the whole blame with this last Black Friday was, the lowest foot traffic Black Friday in over a decade. And they say because more people bought online. It's Cyber Monday kind of stuff. Cyber Monday stuff's been going on for over a decade. In the reality of this is a sign of a downward cycle in the retail space. And what does it really matter? Who really cares? Who cares if people don't buy stuff at retail? Well, there's a bunch of reasons for it. I'm going to get into all of these different ones in my town that have been hit, but we need to know why we even talk about this. The main reason to talk about it is the fact that these places employ people. These are jobs you're losing out of your community. And it's kind of sad that we lose these jobs and these businesses fail and they go out of business and they're not there anymore. But the reality is the retail sector and the restaurant sector make up a large, vast amount of jobs. And yes, you could say, well, who cares because they're low-paying jobs? Well, not necessarily. Depending on the town that you're in, the amount of money that you make there may be putting you at above the median income in that town, such as mine. So here in Oklahoma, someone making $15 an hour working in a retail space is actually making pretty good money, living a pretty good life. Now in New York, making $15 an hour, I would assume that's close to poverty, right? And in California, that would, I don't even want to discuss California. So I want to start out by talking about this auto dealership that went out of business. I actually had family that worked there. My in-laws worked there, and when they lost the dealership, so Chrysler decided that they're going to reduce the number of actual official dealers in the U.S. and this particular dealership lost the Chrysler dealership. Then they went to they did have a lot of new cars for a while. Then they kind of switched to selling used cars. I guess I didn't really keep up and follow what was going on there. But I know that once they decided to close doors, close shop, that my family members did find jobs real quick. You know, mechanics that are really good and know their jobs can get another job, make good money. It's not really that big of a deal. They're always in high demand. But the reality of it is that it's just sad that we lose one more option for buying. And you know, this was a family-run dealership, so it is kind of sad. But what are we going to do with this giant building? It's just going to sit here forever. Who's going to buy it? If anybody bought this, the reality is they probably would be a large corporation that would demolish the building. Then they would build their own. And that's just a reality. So we have this shopping center. I could not get all of it in one picture, like a panoramic view, so I had to take it in 2 pictures, and I'm going to splice it together. Hopefully it looks good enough on camera or on the video. But look at all of these. This is at least 3 in a row that are empty in a relatively new shopping center. It was built in 2013, and it's had businesses come and go. We had something in here called a Beauty Brands, and so that's gone. We had another business in here called, I don't know what it was called. They sold shoes. It was like a shoe outlet. And I bought myself a pair of Nikes, and yeah, those Nikes were cool. They cost me $90 though. For me, a clearance discount shoe outlet, you should be buying shoes for like $50 or less. Ross was better than that. A few slots down, we have a TJ Maxx that sells name brand shoes for cheaper than they were selling shoes. I mean, there's reasons why I guess these businesses were unsustainable. But the reality of this is, in the end, it really is sad to see businesses come and go and not make it in the retail sector. We can analyze why these businesses didn't work, but the reality of it is, it didn't stick. Retail apocalypse 2020 Now here's an old McCoys. This is kind of like Lowe's or Home Depot. This building has been empty for a few years, and it's kind of sad because when I actually bought my house and I bought a foreclosure and I remodeled it, I couldn't find the type of siding that they use on this house anywhere. Not Lowe's, not Home Depot, not Sutherland's, which I don't know if anyone knows what a Sutherland's is, but this is a McCoys, which is just like Lowe's and Home Depot, and I don't know if it's family owned or what. I don't really know the inner workings of this business, but it feels like it's been here my entire life. Feels that way. And all of a sudden they closed up shop. Like I haven't gone there very often because I haven't been doing remodel projects for a couple of years. I think 2015 was my last remodel project. I was done remodeling then, so I haven't been back. But I do have one 16-foot stretch of that siding in my garage in case something happens. But I don't know where I'd find the siding to replace my siding again. I would have to probably re-side the whole thing. I don't know. But anyway, it is sad that this business is out of business. They had a lot of stuff that was a little bit different. And you know what? That's less opportunity, less options. And you can't be, I don't know about you. You're going to order siding. Are you going to order lumber? Are you going to order this stuff over the internet? No, you're going to go to Lowe's, Home Depot, I guess, and just forget this place existed. But they did have a lot of good deals. They ordered a lot of stuff. They did have a lot of contractor grade at a better price than you could get anywhere else. And I know not everybody wants contractor grade stuff, but the reality of it is contractor grade is good price and it holds up. It's fine. And that's kind of where maybe they went wrong there. Who knows? I'm going to miss this. And in my little town here in Oklahoma, we have another shopping center that has absolutely nothing. Now they remodeled this, last year and still haven't got any businesses in there. So it's kind of sad that there's no businesses in there. I do remember there being some sort of an appliance store here, and it's just big box retailers are cornering the market on those appliances. I mean, there was a Dent and Ding appliance is what I think they called it, and it was cool. Like I could go in there, you could find a fridge for like $400, but it would be a modern fridge and have a ding on the side. The front would still look good. $400 instead of spending $2,000. I mean, that kind of stuff. I was in on that, but of course, at the time I was looking for my specific appliances. They didn't have exactly what I was looking for, but I could see occasionally them having what I needed. But the reality of it is that business didn't make it. Sears in the mall. Sears, who would have thought, who would have thunk 100 years ago that Sears would not be making it? They would be struggling and going out of business. The thing about that is that we lost our Sears a couple of years ago, and it seems like we lose our Sears. We'll talk about Kmart in a minute, but it seems like we lose our Sears, and it's sad. It's really sad. This building, this space, it's an anchor store that's empty. Nobody uses this space for anything. Now, I think that we use this space for maybe some local activities occasionally. The mall allows people to use it for something, but it is kind of a sad kind of state of affairs, how it's just big old empty space in our mall. I'm sad about that. But anyway, I guess there's worse things than losing to Sears, but who would have really thought? Like, they were the kings of retail. Sears was the dominant retail force in so many years, so many decades, with their catalog ordering. Maybe they just didn't do their online well enough. Who knows? But yeah, Retail Apocalypse 2020. Do you know who's in bed with Sears? Kmart. This used to be a Kmart. In fact, I have a lot of great memories of this Kmart from when I was a kid. I have great memories of when there was a Chuck E. Cheese on the very left side. If you could see a line on the left side of this building, that it used to be a Chuck E. Cheese. This Kmart actually expanded and took it all over. For a while there, we had a little Caesars inside there, so you could get some pizza while you were shopping. But there was a little bitty door. It was like a 2-foot by 2-foot door entrance into Chuck E. Cheese that only kids could fit through, and it was a lot of fun. I remember all of that. Those days are long gone. And by the way, I think Chuck E. Cheese was it was more fun back in the 80s than it is nowadays, in my opinion. So I've been to Chuck E. Cheese with my kids. But this isn't about Chuck E. Cheese. This is about the retail space. Sad to lose my Kmart. So here's an old Goodwill that they actually moved locations. They took over an old Hastings. Now Hastings, of course, went bankrupt. So basically, instead of the Hastings building sitting empty, the old Goodwill sits empty. There's still a donation center there. This is kind of sad myself. I'm sad to see this go the way it goes, but it is the way it is, and it is what it is. This used to be a Herb's back in the day, or a Safeway, or something sort of grocery store. I've seen it used for a whole lot of different things, which, it's kind of like the day of the grocery store is going away. Now it seems like Aldi's is picking up the slack for grocery stores, but yeah, the grocery store era is dying off. And here's an old movie theater, which this is the movie theater that was built in either late 98 or early 99, and it was actually one of the first movies that they had here was the Star Wars Phantom Menace in 1999. And the thing about this is that, so you think about it, okay, it's about 20 years old, and it's about 20 years old. And here it is sitting with no use. They built a much bigger theater with an IMAX theater and everything, a mile over, something like that. And so this sits unused. They did try to use it as a dollar theater, which the dollar theater really is based off of you buying concessions. And if concessions are not getting sold, then they're not making money off the dollar theater. It's just not worth it. So the reality of it is that they couldn't make it. It couldn't survive, and that's sad. It's always sad, but, we only have 2 theaters in town, so there it is. So lastly, I want to talk about a restaurant, because I'm a restaurant person, and I do want to say there are more empty buildings I'm going to talk about. Maybe I'll do a 2.0 later, but more failed businesses in town, such as a Gibson's and a Walgreens and a few others. So looking at this, this was a Santa Fe. Now this isn't a mom and pop shop. This was a corporate Santa Fe restaurant. They closed down just overnight, and it's crazy how they did it. I've never seen anyone close down such like this. I've never seen them operate perfectly like normal one day, and then the next day a sign up saying we are closed forever. And the employees got their last check. They sent off all the managers to other locations, and all the employees were terminated. So that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now, I think they might have offered if you want to move out of town to employees, they could do that. I mean, maybe that's an offering. But the employees that came to work for me after this, I got a flood of applications from here. And I got a handful of good people from it. So it worked out for me. And that's another thing in the restaurant business, and probably in the retail space the same too, is that if a restaurant closes down, we're cheering, because there is so oversaturated in the restaurant business. It is extremely oversaturated. And that is one of the things that you depend on cash flows. You depend on people coming in and eating. So, hey, the less people eating at this place now because it's closed, just move on over to my restaurant. So I'm curious to know what operations in your area, what businesses are going under in your area. What are you seeing in your towns? Is this retail apocalypse of 2020 all over America? Well, I know it is for sure. Like, subscribe, Financial Independence 101 out.